Are you looking for the best mirrorless cameras for beginners? In this video we will look at some of the best mirrorless cameras for beginners on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Canon EOS R10. The Canon EOS R10 is a great entry-level choice if you have the budget. With excellent ergonomics and a highly intuitive user interface, it's one of the best mirrorless cameras for beginners. Image quality is great thanks to its high-res APS-C sensor, and the camera is very well-rounded for videos and vlogs. With 4K recording at up to 60 frames per second, you can capture a wide variety of video styles. On top of that, it has one of the most reliable autofocus systems on the market and a great battery life. That said, lens selection is still somewhat limited for Canon's RF mount, but you can also adapt older EF and EFS lenses if you buy an EOSR adapter. If you'd prefer a more established mirrorless system, the Fujifilm X-S10 is another great choice at a similar price point, and it features in-body image stabilization (IBIS) to help you get smoother handheld shots. However, if you want to upgrade to full-frame one day, go with the Canon, as the RF system features both APS-C and full-frame models, making it easy to upgrade down the line if you so choose. At number 2. Sony Alpha 6400. If the Canon EOS R10 is out of your price range, a Sony APS-C Alpha camera like the Sony Alpha 6400 represents a good middle ground for price and performance. It's showing its age now, with an outdated user interface and ergonomics that leaves something to be desired. However, its sensor can capture excellent quality images, and the camera's autofocus system remains one of the best in its class, even today. For those who want to save even more money, the Sony Alpha 6100 uses the same sensor but has a lower resolution EVF and a slightly cheaper build. On the flip side, if you like the autofocus and lenses that Sony has, the pricier Sony Alpha 6600 also takes that same sensor but puts it in a sturdier body with a bigger battery and in-body image stabilization. Overall, the differences between these three cameras are minor, so each one can be a good choice, depending on your budget. At number 3. Canon EOS R50. Those on a tighter budget will love the Canon EOS R50, which is one of the best value options on the market. It features a high-res APS-C sensor that captures great image quality, 4K video recording at up to 30 frames per second, and a portable body that makes it easy to take wherever you go. It's also incredibly accessible for those who've only ever used smartphone cameras since it has a robust auto mode that takes most of the guesswork out of photography. The Olympus OND EM10 Mark IV is another great budget camera, and it's part of the Micro Four Thirds system, so compatible lenses will be more compact. It's also one of the very few cameras at this price point to have in-body image stabilization. However, its autofocus system isn't nearly as reliable as the AF on the Canon. At number 4. Sony ZV-E10. If you want to get started in video, look no further than the Sony ZV-E10. This budget vlogging camera is the perfect video camera for beginners. It's similar to Sony Alpha cameras like the Sony Alpha 6100 mentioned above but is geared more toward vloggers and video shooters. To that end, it has an updated internal microphone, a detachable windscreen to reduce ambient noise, and a fully articulated screen that makes it easy to monitor yourself while recording. Unfortunately, you don't get a viewfinder here, but the camera is super portable and feels relatively well built. Battery life is also impressive for a mirrorless camera. Plus, its autofocus system is reliable and accurate, and it even has specialized focus modes, like Product Showcase, which is great for product and beauty vloggers, as it automatically switches focus to any object held up in the frame. Overall, if you're looking for a beginner video camera that won't break the bank, this one's hard to beat. At number 5. Canon EOS R100. Cheap isn't really a word that comes to mind when we think of cameras, but there are options out there that won't cost you a fortune. If you don't want to risk buying a camera from the used market, the Canon EOS R100 is the best mirrorless camera for beginners who want to keep costs down as much as possible. It's as basic as they come, with no tilt screen, minimal controls, and limited video features. What it does have, though, is a high-resolution APS-C sensor that can capture great images. It's also chock full of useful auto modes to help beginners get started. More importantly, If you've never used a camera before and this is the only one within your budget, and it gets you out there shooting, it will have given you something that transcends having the latest and greatest camera tech and entryway into the art of photography.